This is absolutely unthinkable, and if you're not in complete shock right now, then you clearly missed the most devastating and most calculated betrayal in Bloodline history when Solo Sikoa deliberately sabotaged Roman Reigns at Crown Jewel, costing him the championship and destroying years of brotherhood in one vicious act of treachery. If you think this was an accident or miscommunication, you're dead wrong, because what I'm about to expose proves that Solo has been planning this betrayal for weeks with cold, calculated precision, and his declaration that he'll destroy you all after turning on Roman reveals that this isn't just about taking Roman's spot. This is about Solo declaring war on the entire bloodline and establishing himself as the new tribal chief through force and violence. Comment right now if you think Solo Sikoa just made the biggest mistake of his life by betraying Roman Reigns, because the fallout from this treachery is going to be nuclear and will tear the bloodline apart in ways that can never be repaired. This isn't just another faction member going rogue, this is the enforcer, the most dangerous weapon in Roman's arsenal, turning that weapon on his own family and promising to destroy everyone who stands in his way. Solo just declared himself the tribal chief, and the blood that's about to be spilled will redefine what violence means in WWE. Let me break down exactly what happened at Crown Jewel, because every single detail of Solo's betrayal was perfectly executed to inflict maximum damage on Roman at the worst possible moment. Roman was in his championship match, fighting with everything he had, the match hanging in the balance. Both competitors were exhausted, the referee was down, and chaos was erupting in and around the ring. Solo Sikoa was at ringside in his usual enforcer role, positioned to protect Roman from any outside interference and to capitalize on any opportunity that presented itself. Roman had signaled for Solo to hand him something, maybe a chair, maybe just a distraction, the kind of assist that the bloodline had perfected over years of working together. Solo reached under the ring, and Roman prepared for whatever advantage Solo was about to provide. But what Solo pulled out wasn't a weapon to help Roman, it was a weapon to destroy him. Solo grabbed a steel chair, slid into the ring, and Roman's expression went from anticipation to confusion to absolute horror as he realized Solo wasn't positioning to hit Roman's opponent. Solo was positioning to hit him. Here's a trivia question for Bloodline fans: in what year did Solo Sikoa officially debut on WWE's main roster? Drop your answer below. The chair shot Solo delivered to Roman's skull was sickening in its brutality. This wasn't a pulled punch or a worked shot, this was full force, the sound echoing through the arena like a gunshot. Roman crumpled to the mat immediately, clearly out cold from the impact. The crowd went from cheering to gasping in shock, unable to process what they'd just witnessed. Solo Sikoa, the enforcer, the loyal soldier, had just betrayed the tribal chief. But Solo wasn't done. He stood over Roman's fallen body, and the expression on his face was chilling, not regret, not conflict, but satisfaction. Pure, cold satisfaction. Solo had been waiting for this moment, planning for it, savoring the thought of it. And now that it had arrived, he was clearly enjoying Roman's suffering. Solo then did something that proved this wasn't heat of the moment action but premeditated destruction. He picked Roman up and hit his signature Samoan spike, driving Roman back down to the mat with devastating force. Then he dragged Roman's opponent on top of him, woke up the referee, and stood back to watch as the referee counted 1, 2, 3. Roman's championship reign was over, ended not by his opponent's skill but by his own family member's betrayal. Drop a comment: is Solo Sikoa's betrayal worse than Seth Rollins betraying The Shield in 2014? Let me know which betrayal you think cuts deeper. The immediate aftermath was chaos. Roman was barely conscious, trying to process what had just happened. The new champion was celebrating but clearly confused about how he'd won. And Solo Sikoa stood at the top of the ramp, staring down at the destruction he'd caused with those cold, dead eyes that showed zero remorse. Then Solo grabbed a microphone, and what he said sent shockwaves through the entire wrestling world. Roman, you're done. Your time is over. You've been sitting at the head of that table for too long, getting comfortable, getting weak, getting soft. Well, I just did what needed to be done. I removed the old tribal chief so a new one can take his place. And that new tribal chief? That's me. The audacity of Solo declaring himself tribal chief immediately after betraying Roman was staggering. But Solo wasn't finished with his declaration. He continued, and to everyone in the bloodline, Jimmy, every single person who's been following Roman like sheep, I'm giving you a choice. Acknowledge me as your tribal chief, fall in line behind me, or I will destroy you. I will destroy you all. This is my bloodline now. My era. My empire. And anyone who stands in my way will suffer the same fate as Roman. The threat in Solo's words was unmistakable and terrifying. This wasn't a man seeking acceptance or trying to earn respect, this was a man taking power through violence and promising more violence to anyone who challenged him. Solo had transformed from loyal enforcer to dangerous tyrant in the span of minutes. Quick question: what is Solo Sikoa's signature move called? Show me you know your street champion knowledge. The psychology behind Solo's betrayal is fascinating and reveals motivations that have been building for months. Solo has been the enforcer, the muscle, the one doing Roman's dirty work while Roman got all the glory and all the credit. Every victory Roman celebrated, Solo was in the background. Every championship Roman held, Solo was protection, not partner. Solo has been used by Roman as a tool rather than treated as an equal family member. Reports from backstage suggest that Solo had been expressing frustration about his role for weeks before Crown Jewel. He felt like he was being taken for granted, like his contributions weren't being acknowledged, like he was stuck in a position with no room for advancement as long as Roman was on top. Solo apparently tried to discuss these concerns with Roman, but Roman dismissed them, telling Solo to know his role and stay in his lane. That dismissal was Roman's fatal mistake. By not taking Solo's ambitions seriously, by treating him as disposable muscle rather than a future leader, Roman created the resentment that led to this betrayal. Solo decided that if Roman wouldn't elevate him willingly, Solo would take the elevation by force, even if it meant destroying Roman in the process. The timing of Solo's betrayal was strategic and calculated. He waited until Roman was at his most vulnerable, in the middle of a championship match, exhausted, relying on Solo's assistance. Solo used Roman's trust against him, weaponizing the very loyalty that was supposed to make the bloodline strong. It was brilliant strategy from someone everyone underestimated as just muscle with no brains. Tell me in the comments, do you think Sikoa's frustrations with his role in the bloodline were valid, or is his betrayal completely unjustified regardless of his feelings? Be honest. The immediate reaction from other bloodline members has been mixed and chaotic. The Usos are reportedly in shock, unable to believe that Solo would betray Roman so completely. They're caught between loyalty to Roman as tribal chief and understanding that Solo's complaints about being overlooked had merit. The tension is forcing them to choose between family members, which is exactly what Solo wants, division that weakens potential opposition to his claim as the new tribal chief. Paul Heyman's involvement, or lack thereof, is suspicious. Some reports suggest that Paul may have known about Solo's plans and chose not to warn Roman because Paul is already planning his own exit from Roman's camp. If Paul was aware of Solo's intentions and said nothing, that's another layer of betrayal that Roman has to deal with, another person he trusted completely who let him down when he needed them most. Roman's response to the betrayal has been reportedly devastating. Sources close to the situation say Roman is not just angry but heartbroken. He viewed Solo as the most loyal member of the bloodline, the one person he thought would never turn on him. Discovering that Solo had been planning this betrayal while Roman was trusting him completely has shattered Roman's ability to trust anyone in his inner circle. The physical injuries Roman sustained from Solo's attack are serious. The chair shot gave Roman a legitimate concussion. The Samoan spike aggravated previous neck injuries. Roman is reportedly being kept under medical observation and may be out of action for weeks recovering from the damage his own family member inflicted on him. Solo didn't just cost Roman the championship, he potentially sidelined him from competition entirely. What's your prediction? How long before Roman Reigns gets his revenge on Solo Sikoa? Weeks? Months? Or will Solo prove too dangerous to defeat? Drop your timeline. The reactions from other WWE superstars have been fascinating. Some wrestlers are quietly supporting Solo's move, viewing it as someone finally standing up to Roman's tyranny and control. Others are horrified by the betrayal, seeing it as a violation of family bonds and loyalty that transcends wrestling business. The locker room is divided, and those divisions will create interesting alliances and conflicts going forward. The championship situation is complicated now. The new champion technically won because of Solo's interference, which raises questions about the legitimacy of the title change. Does WWE acknowledge that the finish was tainted? Do they order a rematch? Do they strip the champion? Or do they let the controversial finish stand because it creates compelling television? The decision will have major implications for how this storyline develops. Solo's declaration that he'll destroy you all isn't limited to just Roman, he's threatening everyone in the bloodline who doesn't immediately acknowledge him as the new tribal chief. That puts every family member in an impossible position: betray Roman by supporting Solo, or face Solo's wrath by remaining loyal to Roman. It's a win-win situation for Solo because either outcome weakens potential opposition. The potential for a bloodline civil war is now inevitable. Solo has drawn a line in the sand, declared himself the new leader, and promised violence to anyone who opposes him. Roman won't accept this betrayal without a fight. The Usos will be forced to choose sides. Other family members will have to declare their allegiances. The faction that has dominated WWE for years is about to tear itself apart in the most brutal internal conflict wrestling has seen in decades. Here's a controversial question: in a fair fight with no interference, who would win, Roman Reigns or Solo Sikoa? Give me your honest assessment of their respective abilities. The historical parallels to other faction betrayals are striking. When Seth betrayed the Shield, he aligned himself with the Authority, gaining powerful allies. Solo's betrayal is different, he's going alone, declaring that he doesn't need allies because he's strong enough to destroy everyone by himself. That level of confidence and arrogance makes Solo even more dangerous because he has nothing to lose and no one to hold him back. The promo battles coming from this will be incredible. Imagine Roman finally getting a microphone and unleashing years of frustration on the family member who betrayed him. Imagine Solo coldly explaining his motivations and showing no remorse for his actions. Imagine the Usos caught in the middle, trying to mediate between two people they love who now want to destroy each other. The emotional complexity is off the charts. The match possibilities are endless and all of them are compelling. Roman vs. Solo in a street fight where all the rules go out the window. Roman vs. Solo in a steel cage where neither man can escape or receive help. Roman vs. Solo in an I Quit match where one of them has to verbally submit to the other. Every stipulation adds intensity to an already personal rivalry. The championship implications are major. If Solo is positioning himself as the new tribal chief, does he pursue the championship that Roman lost? Does he build his own legacy separate from championships, proving his dominance through sheer violence? Does he target every championship to prove he's more successful than Roman ever was? His path will define whether this is about leadership or just about hurting Roman. The psychological warfare Solo can wage is terrifying. He knows all of Roman's strategies, all his weaknesses, all his secrets. Solo was in the inner circle for years, privy to private conversations and plans. He can use that information to stay one step ahead of Roman and to manipulate other bloodline members. The advantage Solo has through his insider knowledge is massive. What's your take? Should the Usos stay neutral in the conflict between Roman and Solo, or should they pick a side? What would be most interesting to watch? The social media reaction has been nuclear. Wrestling Twitter is exploding with hot takes, conspiracy theories, and emotional reactions. Hashtag Solo Betrayal and hashtag New Tribal Chief are both trending worldwide. Fans are creating memes, video packages, and fantasy booking scenarios at a fevered pace. The engagement WWE is getting from this storyline is off the charts. The business implications are massive. Solo Sikoa as a main event heel has money written all over it. He has the look, the intensity, the in-ring ability, and now the heat from this betrayal. WWE can build an entire year of programming around Roman's quest for revenge and Solo's reign of terror. The potential revenue from this feud is staggering if booked correctly. The long-term storytelling possibilities are rich. This betrayal creates ripple effects that can sustain multiple storylines for months. The Bloodline Civil War. Roman's redemption arc, Solo's rise to power. The Usos' divided loyalties. Other wrestlers capitalizing on the chaos. Every direction creates interesting television and meaningful character development. One final question: if Solo Sikoa's betrayal leads to him becoming WWE Champion, would that be the greatest heel story of the decade, or would it be giving him too much too soon? Give me your booking philosophy. The legacy implications are profound. If Solo succeeds in his quest to become the new tribal chief and to destroy Roman, he'll have accomplished something that seemed impossible, dethroning the most dominant champion of the modern era through pure treachery and violence. That's the kind of story that defines careers and creates legendary moments that fans discuss for decades. Now I want to hear from you, the Wrestling Newsletter family. Tell me in the comments, is Solo Sikoa justified in betraying Roman for holding him back? Who should the Usos support, Roman or Solo? Can Roman ever trust any family member again after this? Is this the most calculated betrayal in WWE history? Should Solo become WWE Champion after this heel turn? Will the Bloodline ever reunite after this civil war? Smash that like button if Solo Sikoa's betrayal shocked you to your core. Destroy that like button if you think Solo's going to destroy Roman in their inevitable confrontation. We need maximum engagement. Subscribe to Wrestling Newsletter because we're covering every battle in this Bloodline Civil War and Solo's violent path to power. Share this video with every wrestling fan because Solo Sikoa betraying Roman Reigns and costing him the championship at Crown Jewel 2025 is the most shocking moment of the year. The enforcer has become the usurper. Roman Reigns has been dethroned through treachery. Solo Sikoa has declared war on everyone. The bloodline is shattered beyond repair. And the violence that's coming will be legendary. This is the kind of compelling, emotionally devastating storytelling that reminds us why wrestling at its best is unmatched entertainment. The empire has fallen, and a new tyrant has risen from its ashes.